which is Project Rene, which a bunch of you were Googling or researching or looking at what is Project Rene. And if you're I'm not in the know like me, I'm pretty sure Adam knows what Project Rene is because he's a far bigger fan of this genre than I am. I've only recently got into like cozy, relaxing games. Of course, if you're fans of the podcast, I would have talked about Stardew Valley a bunch of times, maybe too many times for some people. But yeah, Project Rene is the code name for The Sims 5, which is, again, total news to me. So this is an older story from December 15th of last year, but Games Radar and the journalist Sam Loveridge covers like everything we know about the future and the current. What does The Sims 5 actually look like, right? And what do we know so far? So again, no concrete release date, but again, the director or the producers of The Sims 5 came and said, yes, there will be early access. And yes, again, the game will be free to play. Now, this of course will probably leave a bad taste in many people's mouths because, of course, EA has not had the best track record when it comes to free to play. Last year, with a bunch of the sport games, people were spending thousands of dollars on card packs for Madden and NBA, and a bunch of other games, and so that's definitely something to keep into account. Though, again, with, I would say, most middle-aged gamers playing free-to-play stuff or playing things like that, if you're playing an hour a day, like Adam and I were talking about this, again, you're probably not likely to crush through all this content, but if you're playing 3 hours, 4 hours a day for a free-to-play game, you're gonna hit that paywall or timer wall or something where you have to put real money into the game. So that's definitely something to keep into account. And yeah, they talked about a bunch of cool gameplay features with Project Rene. One feature was that they talked about was with a social play experience where players can design an apartment together. Now, this is an interesting feature. Stardew Valley does this where you can do like a farm together with your wife or your partner or whoever. I've heard that it works quite well, like when you're playing in the same room or you're playing online and you're chatting on Discord. But I think this is one of those features where if you don't have anyone to play online or you work an odd time, like Adam worked odd times, right? Like he works night times in Taiwan where Adam's Taiwanese friends are off work and he has no one to play with at that time unless they're in America. And even then in America, it's evening Taiwan time where he's off work, but in America, it's morning time where his friends are working at the moment. A lot of this sharing experience sounds really cool, but for like middle-aged gamers, yeah, it might be hard to find somebody to have this sharing experience with.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned with because there's a couple things. They've said that it's going to exist alongside Sims 4, so it doesn't look like it's meant to be a replacement in the sense that Sims 4 was a replacement for Sims 3 and Sims 3 was a replacement for Sims 2. It looks like this is something that's going to be coexisting with Sims 4, and that is a little concerning as to what they plan to do with it. So it looks like it might even be like a different kind of model of gameplay. But yeah, I like the customization options. I think that's really cool, especially with things like color wheels and stuff like that. Because that's one thing that always drives me nuts in The Sims is if I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have a sofa," and I find this sofa, and then I find the love seat, right? And there's, "Oh, this is, one of us is kind of like a deep red and one's kind of a faded red," and it's I just want everything to I like yeah, you're limited with the color options they give you. Sometimes things don't even have color options. So a color wheel allows you to match that really easily, especially if you have a color wheel that allows you to apply different patterns to things. Yeah, and then I saw like they were saying like, okay, if you put a sofa down, you have the option of do you want 3 separate cushions or do you want it to be one long cushion? So I really think that's really cool. But, yeah, and then looking at the videos of it, they have a lot of, like, really nitty-gritty stuff, like, for example, they showed the sofa, and then they had the throw pillows, and you could adjust where the throw pillows are on the sofa, and you could adjust the angles that they're at. And so it's okay, in that sense, it looks like it's supposed to be really good for modeling things. But, yeah, I don't know what kind of limitations that's gonna have because when you allow that kind of freedom, it can really complicate things like animations. For instance, if somebody wants to sit on a sofa, then if you can place a pillow anywhere on the sofa, the AI has to compensate for that, or you're gonna have a lot of clipping if the pillow is positioned in such a way that the person's sitting here, but that's where the pillow is. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I'll have my eye on it. But, yeah, the free to play and the fact that you can play it on your PC and then move over to your phone and continue playing it on your phone. And all those things together makes me worried about how much of the experience is going to feel the same and how much of the experience is going to be something completely different,
Yeah.
which could still be exciting. But at the same time, when you want Sims 5 and you're getting a new experience, it's, okay, that's cool, but it's not what I was looking for.